Hi, I'm Christiana with Christiana's Yoga. This video is about how to measure your wrist to find your bracelet size. Chances are, if you are seeing this video, it is because you are making your selections for your Mindset Bundle bracelet. And I am so excited for you. I can't wait to hear all about your journey. But if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say Mindset Bundle, then you're probably coming to this video through YouTube. And if you want to know more about it, just click the link in the description. So let's get started. What you're going to need is a flexible measuring tape. But if you don't have one, you can use a string, or you can even use a piece of paper. And then you'll need a ruler if you're using the string or the piece of paper. So first of all, you want to figure out where you want your bracelet to sit. I generally prefer my bracelets to sit just below my wrist bone. So take your measuring tape, wrap it around your wrist. You want to snug it up, but not so tightly that it's pinching your skin. And then find your measurement. So mine is almost, I don't know if you can see it, it's almost 6 1/4. So I'll keep that in mind. Now, let's say I don't have a measuring tape. Just do the same thing with a piece of string. Wrap it around your wrist and snug it up. It's easier if you lay your hand down. I'm holding it up so you can see. So snug it up, mark it with your nail where they overlap, and then open it up, get your ruler, take your measurement, and 6 1/4, okay? If you don't have a string, do a strip of paper. Same thing, just wrap it around, and there we go. Mark it where it overlaps. It's probably pretty hard to see that overlap there. And then, so I've marked it right there. You can also use a pen too. I'm just going to fold it right where I marked it to make it easy. And then lay it down on your ruler and measure it. So there we go. Just under 6 1/4. Now that I know that my wrist measurement size is 6 1/4, I want to account for how I want my bracelets to sit on my wrist. Do I want them to stay put, or do I want them to move around? I generally prefer my bracelets to stay where they are. So I would add about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch to give it some play. So my bracelet size, because it's between a 6 and a 6 1/4, and how I like it to sit, I would choose a 6 1/2, which is a small, a size small. So if I were to add up to 1 inch, then my next bracelet size up would be a size 7. And for me personally, I feel like that's a little too large. And I'll show you why. So this bracelet here, I don't sell this one. I call her Pink Amy. I bought her from another vendor. But this one is a size 7 in diameter bracelet, and it moves around a lot. And I don't like that so much. I prefer my bracelets to stay put. So you have to decide how you want your bracelets to move or not move, and then make your size choice based on that. So if I were to keep my bracelet nice and snug and then open it up into a 6 1/2, then it's where I want it to be, but it still has a little bit of movement. It's not super tight. So the other thing I want you to consider is that our wrists can get bigger depending on the temperature. Right now it's kind of warm, so my wrist is measuring a little bit larger than usual. So it can depend on the temperature, of course. It can depend on whether or not you're exercising, and we do plan on wearing these during our yoga practice. And it also depends on water retention. So keep that in mind when you're picking your bracelet size as well. And then one thing you might have noticed is that on my site, you can only choose from a 4mm or a 6mm bead. And that's because, like I talked about Pink Amy earlier, this is an 8mm size bead, and I feel like it's a little too large to wear during practice. And it's when I'm doing certain poses where my arms have to be down on the mat. For me personally, it feels like it's a little just too bulky. It gets in the way of my wrist and my firm foundation between my arms and the ground. So that's why I only offer a 4mm and a 6mm bead. And so this is the rose quartz here in 4mm, and this is the Indian agate in a 6mm bead. So you can see the difference. Let me just put them on. You can see the difference in size, but both of these are really good sizes. I don't feel like either one of them get in the way of my practice. But on a side note, if you do happen to have larger bracelets that you want to attach your affirmation to, and you don't like to wear them during practice, then all you have to do is set them on a cloth or something near your mat where it's not in the way, but you can still see it so that when you say your affirmation, you can look at your bracelet. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, just email me and I'll put the email in the description. And then your next steps are to head on back to your selections page and make your choices for your bracelet. And if you're not making your choices for your bracelet and you came through YouTube, jump down to the link in the description so you can learn all about this. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day.